Welcome to the Science of Gratitude podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Valerie Mukanga, and each week we'll explore how gratitude transforms our lives through powerful stories and insights. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in one more time to the Science of Gratitude podcast. Thank you so very much, because the fact that you keep tuning in gives us a lot of hope, and we see that whatever we're trying to do is of good help to you. So thank you. Thank you for every comment, every like, every subscriber, every share. We do truly appreciate you. And so today I have a great guest for you. His name is Mr. Ange Mukadi. He's the one that's going to bless us today on this episode. And without further ado, I'm going to ask Mr. Ange to introduce himself to us. So Mr. Ange, please let us know a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning, everyone. As Dr. Valerie just said, my name is Ange Mukadi, although many people know me as Angel. Shortly, living in America just sometimes change things. But I am comfortable with either name, so I go by Ange or Angel Mukadi. And how can I introduce myself? I guess I would call myself passionate about community building in general. Mm-hmm. I am passionate about general growth. I love to see that in people. Mm-hmm. And finally, I'm a passionate of technology. Anything IT, anything related to science, you'll see me there, because that's one of my passion. And you may even throw in photography and video. That's another one of my passion. I define myself by these things because for me, life, one of the great things I'm grateful for life is the fact that we have these things to enjoy and to express, right? Just the fact that we can do that is a great thing. And that's how I define myself. I define myself by what I am, and what I am is what I do. Currently, I'm an IT professional. I work as a cloud engineer for Amazon, and I'm a family man. I'm married. I have 4 children, and I'm very much involved in my community as always. That's how I would introduce myself today. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And he truly is a community builder. And I think that we're going to touch upon this because this really stirs at the strings of his heart. So let me ask you this, Mr. Ange, in your own terms, how do you define gratitude?
In my own terms, I guess that's the key. For me, gratitude is more of an attitude than anything else. It's really a way of being. Mm-hmm. If I have to translate that in French, we talk about reconnaissance, I believe. There is a knowledge in it. There's science in being grateful, right? Gratitude is not something that just sits there. It's an intention. And it's the intention to see others. And that's something that we don't always see. And I guess I push myself to recognize that in people, to recognize greatness in others. And for me, that's what gratitude begins with, honestly.
I love it. I love that you're talking about it doesn't just sit there. It's an attitude. It's recognition of what the other has, something to be grateful for. So I really love that. I like how you put it. Yes. So now, please, I would love to hear your gratitude story, as I call it, or your testimony. What is it that you have experienced that you're super grateful about in your life?
Well, funny thing is, most of the things that I am mostly grateful didn't always start up, being the greatest things or something that you would appreciate, right? Necessarily. Or at least, most of us are wired that way, not to appreciate failure, for example. But I look at it as something to be thankful for, because it's something that helps us grow, help us grow, right? I mentioned that growing or personal growth is one of my passion, and I believe the only way to grow is through failure. Just to give my testimony, recently you may know that I ran for Congolese, president of the Congolese community here in DFW, and in many ways, this was very successful to me, but the end result may be looked at as a failure, because obviously I'm not the president of a Congolese community today. Victor is, which is great. And I'm absolutely grateful for all that, that had happened during the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
for the experiences that I've gained and the people that I had the chance and the opportunity to meet and discover.
Mm-hmm.
Discovering my own community, having a different perspective on really what the community is.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's something that I'm profoundly grateful for. It
Mm-hmm.
actually helped me grow and reach another level of myself that I had no idea that I was capable of. And if anything that's happening right now, many of the things that I am doing right now is
Mm-hmm.
through that lens of failing to become the president of the community.
Yes.
It taught me humility. It helped me meet so many new friends and family, I may even say. And some of these people I only met like a few months ago. Just to name, for
Mm-hmm.
example, yourself, Mama Valerie. I've known you, but now I'm getting to know you better. And that's through that failure, right? At least
Yes.
something that we may look at and think this is a failure, but
Uh-huh.
it was actually a great moment of learning of
Mm-hmm.
growing
Mm-hmm.
and a great experience to have
Mm-hmm.
since it opened so many doors. So that's one of the things that I'm the most grateful as of late. And other than that, I mean, there've been a lot of things and many things that I would be very, very grateful for. My
Mm-hmm.
family to begin with.
Yes.
Like I said, I have 4 children. All of them grown now. My oldest is 26. The others are 23, 22, 18 years old, and all of them
Mm-hmm.
are in college, graduating as
Mm-hmm.
even. So when I think about it, I mean, it's amazing because we know how hard it is to be a parent here in the United States.
Yes.
And given the experiences that we have to go through, it's just something to contemplate and appreciate. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really another thing that I'm very grateful about. And not to mention my parents. My parents, thank God, are still alive and very, very much involved in my personal life. And I am grateful for that because I see around me and I see many people at 50 years old not having their parents anymore. It's not even a
Right.
surprise anymore. But look at me. I'm still there and
Mm-hmm.
my parents are very much involved in my life.
Mm.
And this is something to be very, very thankful for. I mean, I can go on and never finish, to be honest with you. It's just so many things I'm grateful for. My brothers, my siblings, my relatives. I mean, I've been blessed.
Yes.
And I didn't always feel that way in the beginning. I always thought that, obstacles are there to bring us down.
Yes.
But today I'm looking at it in a totally different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, just the last couple of nights, well, yesterday even, I was speaking to some friends about what's happening in the East. This
Yeah.
is something that profoundly affecting me.
Mm.
And we found ourselves being grateful to God for that. And we believe that this is going to bring something new to the whole Congolese nation. And
Mm.
we pray and thank God for that. So being grateful in difficult circumstances,
Yes.
particularly in different circumstances,
Mm.
is the essence of gratitude. It's the
Mm-hmm.
intention of gratitude. That's what makes it so intentional, right? That's what makes it
Exactly.
artful. It cannot just be like something sitting on the shelf that we go to when we need it. No, it
Right.
has to be purposeful. And that's really my attitude with gratitude.
Wonderful. So now let me ask you this. What made you, because I would like for you to tell the story or paint the story of you running to become the president of the Congolese community here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Let me ask you this. What sparked that desire? And also walk us through that story. Like, what did you do? How did you run? Yeah, just all that. I'm very nosy.
No, no, no. That's
In a
not
good
nosy at all.
sense.
I mean, I'm grateful actually asking that question. It's a very important question. A lot of the time we think that things just happen. Fortunately, or even fortunately, no, things don't just happen. I'm a person that's wired to my community. I'm very attached to my community. I came to America about 32 years ago. I had just turned 18 years old at the time. And I came obviously to go to school, to continue my education, to go to college. The first thing that I tried to do when I got to Boston, because it was in Boston that I landed the first time, I wanted to know as much as possible so that I can obviously grow as fast as I possibly can, get to know the land, get to know the language, understand the people. But the first thing that I thought to look for was my community. So I tried to look for the Congolese community in Dallas. They're a little bit, all over the place, but I managed to find a few people. And I'm very, very grateful for those people because they helped me with their own experiences, right? Whether it
This is in Boston, right?
In Boston.
Okay.
Yes, that was in 1993, December of 1993, 1994.
Okay.
That's when we arrived, my brother and I. So that experience of finding them and dealing, listening to their stories helped me a lot.
Okay.
You in a new land, new language, new culture, new people. The first thing you want to know is, okay, what's going on here? Are there other people that share the experience that I'm sharing right now?
Right.
So that I can learn from them. And they did try their best to share. But one thing that I did notice at that moment was that although they were willing to share, they didn't know how to go about it. And there wasn't always structures, right, ready to be able to assist people like, young people in my case.
Right.
So what I immediately tried to do is try to help organize a Congolese community. So I started working with the people that were already there.
Okay.
I was a part of people that launched a church in Boston.
I see.
Which is now one of the main churches. At the same time, I created an organization called CongoBoston.com.
Okay.
This was supposed to help, with information for people that were basically coming to Boston the first time, particularly Congolese. So my involvement in the community, just to say, is not something from today. So I've always wanted to see my community thrive and do better and share information and allow others to join in and build from a place of legacy, right? From an equity, not just from zero, but starting with something. And that's basically what I've always wanted to do. And I've done that in many capacity, whether it was in Boston or when I first moved to Dallas in 2012, I launched something that we had called CB Next. CB Next was the very first YouTube TV channel. When most people didn't even know what a YouTube channel was. We had one in 2011, 2012.
I see.
And that's been me and my community. I've always been involved, but at some points I felt the need to withdraw. I needed to rebuild myself. I don't know if many people may be understanding what I'm talking about, but I felt empty. I needed to replenish, and I withdrew and went back to school again. And I've done a lot of things on a personal level, rebuilt my family, and at some point I felt, I was too far away from the community for way too long. That's when I decided that, I am going to be involved in the community. And lo and behold, I noticed when I was starting to come back that there was some issues with the Congolese community here in DFW. We try to help as best as we could in the shadow, but I felt like no one was actually there to receive. So I'm like, who else than myself to try to actually do it? So with the help of some friends, I started the campaign. I decided that I'm going to go on and put myself, as a candidate for the Congolese community president. That's what I did. So it was hard, obviously. I was out of the community for a long time, and a lot of people didn't always recognize me because there were a lot of people that moved in recently in the last 5-10 years in Dallas.
Okay.
So I still, did my best and worked and tried to reach out to as many people as I possibly could. Honestly, I thought we were very close to winning these elections. But at the same time, for me, it wasn't so much about winning as it was about seeing the Congolese community work again. And personally, I'm very grateful about what we are saying right now. We have a very involved president who is doing the best he can with the tools that he has and the abilities that he has. And obviously, I'm glad to be a part of that one way or another and to assist.
Yeah.
So that is my story. That's why I'm so present in the community. And I'm not, the type to wait for others to do something for me. I like to go and be proactive and build with others. And that's why I ran for Congolese community president.
I see. So you said that at some point you felt empty. First of all, the podcast or the show that the station that you started in 2012, what was the purpose of it? What was the subject?
It was a continuation of Congo Boston.
Okay.
The key was to recognize people working in the community, to pinpoint them and really help them move forward with the activities that they were doing. It was to allow us as a community to share information. My goal, so basically I was working with a structure of young people. I had about 20 young people that I was working with. Our goal was to organize information. the idea was to gather as much information as we possibly can and make it accessible to everyone. Meaning that if you wanted to know about this, you wanted to know about schools in the Congolese community, you'd reach out to us or to our website, and we'll show you where they are and how you can get a hold of them. And we will also obviously have a series of TVs, interviews, or shows that basically will help you know about each and every one of those. So that was the idea. It was really about networking, networking the Congolese communities to the point where information will be easily accessible. So that was the primary goal of the cbnext.com at the time.
Whatever happened to it?
Well, was for lack of a better word, I think it was a little bit too I want to say a little premature for our community at the time. We talked about 2011, 2012. There weren't a lot of businesses in the Congolese community at the time. And also, everything was focusing on religion at the time. I mean, I believe that I'm a Christian. I don't hide it. But at the same time, not everyone has to be a pastor. So
that's correct.
I don't see myself as a spiritual leader. I see myself as a community leader by the grace of God. I mean, although that's another topic, because I didn't make myself a leader. I feel like it's a call, right?
Yes,
when I recognize you like that, you fulfill the role that others see you, and you accept it. You accept that responsibility, and you're grateful for that. For that matter of fact. So that's basically how I felt like that organization wasn't ready. I invested a lot of time and effort into it, but I felt like it was still falling short, and it was purely focusing on
the
religion side. And that wasn't really driving it well enough as far as I'm concerned. So that's one of the reasons why we actually stopped it.
And then another thing you said that you felt empty. Like, what brought that emptiness, and what was that emptiness like? I say that because I'm asking that because somebody else might feel the same way. And then I would be interested to know how. I know that you went back to school and all of that, but like, first of all, what was that emptiness like?
It also stems from not being appreciated in a way, right? When you are giving and you're not getting anything in return, no positive feedback. Because we have to recognize that our community is extremely critical of people doing things. They try to find anything wrong. Not that I did anything wrong. I have nothing to hide. I didn't hurt anyone. However, when you give so much, you just feel like you give and give again and then give and give. You're supposed to persevere, I understand. But if you're not getting any feedback or showing that what you're doing does actually matter to somebody, it becomes really, really burdensome. It becomes really heavy. And of course, when something comes out of you, it has to be replenished. And I felt like I've given a lot, and I wasn't getting fed myself. I was in need of leadership. I was in need of someone to teach me and guide me, and I didn't have that. So I withdrew and I decided to spend some time with myself and my God, and really focus on my family, on my education, on things that I felt like I needed to gain, right? To be ready. And that's what I did, honestly, until I found myself ready again. That's when I decided, this is time. And there I am again.
So then you said when? I'm sorry, you said?
No, I was saying it's a difficult situation to be in. I guess I was told, at least by some people that I consulted, that, in many leaders, walk, right? They face situations like that where they just feel like they don't have anything left to give. That was my case. I don't know about anybody else, but I felt like I really had nothing else to give. And I've always been taught that when you have nothing to say, don't say anything.
Had your family been impacted by that emptiness as well, or by the pouring that you were doing, in a sense, at the time?
There were because I was really... Many people may not know. I mean, some people know, many people may not know, is that I married really young. I was 22 years old when I got married the first time. And it did not end well. Obviously, we ended up divorcing with my ex-wife. And we have 3 children together. And all this was happening after that time, I mean, I went through the healing process. I understand that it's not easy and you have to rebuild yourself. And I did all that and I was okay. I wasn't really particularly impacted in in a way, I see other people being impacted by divorce, but, I quickly got up to my feet and got back to work and got busy.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it had something to do with it, the way I felt afterward.
I see.
Yes. At some points, I decided that, what, it's time to rebuild my life. I went back, got married, continued to work for a little bit. And then during this 10 years period is really the time that it took me to completely rebuild. And yes, my family was impacted in both the positive way and negative way, obviously. In the negative way, obviously, they saw me really like withdraw on myself.
Yeah.
But they understood that dad was busy, studying, busy working, busy doing this. But for me, it was a time to really get to know myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's important to do that, I guess. In my case, I was able to find myself again and even realized that I had a favorite color that I had completely forgotten about.
What is it, may I
Certain
ask?
things. Now, I realized, for example, that brown color is my
Okay.
color. For
I
some reason, I
see.
never actually thought about it anymore. I found myself one day in my room. I was looking at things in different places, and I felt like it was empty simply because there was no wooden part in it. I was like, this is what I'm missing. So it's just getting to know yourself again. It was really a fantastic journey for me, and studying and learning things and science and getting my degree in IT again, and getting a bunch of certification. Basically, just really got myself right with knowledge, and it was important. It was really, really important for myself first, and it helped me. It helped my family, and now I believe it's time to give again to the community.
So you went to study IT. Why were you drawn to that field in particular?
Because it was the easiest thing for me, and it's always been a passion for me as well.
Okay.
When I first came to America, my goal was to go to MIT and study physics.
Okay.
I wanted to be a physics professor, and that was my dream. At least I thought, right? But
I would assume that when you were home, you studied math, physics.
Yes. I did math and physics. And in fact, I got my math degree in Boston, worked in different fields. I worked in insurance field. I worked in restorations. I've always done, through all that time, I've always done IT things.
I see.
When I was building the websites, I mean, the first website I built was in 1990, I want to say 1997. The internet was fairly nascent. I mean, the internet was new. We were learning to code just like that. I was learning to design and code on the fly. I didn't have a teacher for that. So IT was always a passion of mine and a second nature. I don't really have to try hard. And at the time, I remember studying networking as well, just through books and taking the exam for networking and passing it. It wasn't really particularly hard for me.
Okay.
So I decided that, you know what, I'm going to get a bachelor degree in IT so I can be a professional IT professional. And I was also already working on the field as a network engineer. So I decided that, you know what, I want to really focus on that and do it. Not because of what it would do to me in terms of my relationship with the community or what I can do for the community. I don't think about education that way.
Okay.
For me, degrees are just degrees. They don't really mean anything else other than that. Knowledge is really what matters. And obviously, as I studied IT, it didn't mean that I wasn't learning other things. I'm passionate about history. I study a lot of history. I'm also passionate about psychology. These are things that I like to learn and get to know. I love to know about the world. I'm very interested in geography in general. I'm just passionate about learning, really. IT just happened to be one of the things that I wanted to do because it made sense. And obviously, you can make easy money with IT.
I see. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so, okay, so now let's shift back.
Yes.
Let's shift back. We were talking about now you came to Oregon. You wanted to become the president of the Dallas-Fort Worth community, and then you ran for presidency, but it didn't happen. So you had that failure. How do you now take that failure and make it positive? How did you pivot?
Well, As I mentioned, for me, becoming a president of a community wasn't an end in itself.
Okay.
My end goal was seeing the Congolese community strive, right? I wanted to see an organized community, something that works, where there's a president that's functioning, where there are goals to be achieved, where people are finding themselves, in different aspects of whatever it is that they do. As far as I imagine the community, it wasn't just happening for many, many years.
Okay.
So for me, just getting to that level is what I really wanted. It's not so much about being the president of a Congolese community or not. So being a president of a Congolese community would have helped me maybe position myself in a way where I can do more according to my vision and the way I imagine the Congolese community. But that role being taken by somebody else is not a bother. And me not winning that quickly enough, I realized that, it was actually better for me not to have won it than to have won it.
Why would you say it was better?
It was better. Yes. It got me to know my community.
Okay.
Because the community at that particular moment wasn't looking for someone like me.
Okay.
And I recognized that because I had a chance to speak to over 500 people during that campaign. I really got to know so many people, and I really got to appreciate this community in a different light, as I had suggested earlier. And I accepted it because people were honest with me. Some people clearly said, "Hey, we like you, but where were you when I had my funeral?" He's like, "Where were you?" I was like, a long time ago, I would have used someone like you. I would have loved for you to be there when I was having my sister's wedding or when I was doing this. And I realized that I wasn't there for these people, but Victor was for the most part. And that's what they were looking for that. And that's who they were voting for. And this is something that I am very grateful for. I don't want to become Victor, and that's not the type of presidency that I want to run either. But that's what the community wants. So for me, I'm grateful because I learned from that experience. I realized what the community needed, not what I want, not what Victor wants, but it's what they are looking for at this moment.
I see.
So the outcome is a wonderful outcome. I mean, for anyone that knows Victor Paku, they know that he never missed a wedding or he never missed a funeral. I mean, this man will go out of his way to make sure that you are supported on the day you are facing difficulties when it comes to situations like that.
Wow.
I wouldn't do that. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not compassionate, but I just don't live it the same way he does. My strength is elsewhere. So I decided that, you know what, this is a time to use my strength to give the community another aspect of things that they may not see yet, but with time we will all together build it and provide that service to the community. That's how I look at it. For me, it wasn't a bad experience. It wasn't a sad moment. I saw a lot of positive things in it, and I'm very grateful for that.
But I really like that you mentioned that when they said, some people said, "Where were you when I was mourning a loved one?" And that shows me, it makes this saying true, that people don't just care about what you say, but they care about how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
And so, so that even, and I think it's still, even though bringing something different, that should still stir us in a certain way to know that we need to, if we want to be impactful in people's lives, we need to be there and not just, bring all these great things like, pushing people forward in their careers or in whatever it is, but to just be there, just sit there with them and just chit chat, talk, or just, eat a little something or, share a cup of tea or something. That's really helpful because I think that this shows and brings the light to the fact that when we do that, we'll be able to reach the people even better. When we're there for them, we'll be able to impact them better. And that's something that's a key point that I'm taking away here.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. People need to be seen. People need to be heard. The only way you do that is by paying attention. By listening to them. And things like elections are absolutely important because they allow that to happen naturally.
Yes.
We may not always agree with the outcome. We may have great ideas behind our head and think that we are more competent in such and such ways, which can be true. But is it really what the people are looking for at that particular moment?
At that particular moment.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one way to say. And then you said it really beautifully. I like that. It's really what we need to do. We need to be there with people at those times of needs and do what they are asking, not what we want to or what we think is better for them, right?
Right.
Even when we don't agree with it, even though we think that we could be doing something else, it's not about us. It's really about them first.
And it doesn't have to take days. It could just be like a quick phone call. Hey, how you doing? Or a text, oh, I'm thinking about you, because we can't, like, you're just one person. You can't be everywhere at all time. But I was also going to say, this is, very, enlightening in a sense that we do recognize that even as being Christians, the Christians that we are, when Jesus came, he could have attempted to save us from up there, but he came to fellowship with us. He came to become acquainted to who we were and for us to feel us on a personal level, which is why it says, we have a high priest who is not far from knowing our our feelings, how we feel, what it's like to lack food, what it's like to not have a place to lay your head, what it's like to be very happy, or what it's like. And so then because of that, because he became our king, he took on flesh like us to feel like us. Now he was able to know how, to bring impact to our lives, to now, we're able to move forward because he took time to spend time with us and relate to us. So I think that that's a key point I'm taking from this whole conversation.
Absolutely. I absolutely see that. And I love it. Absolutely see it. That's what it's about.
But now, having come to this point, I absolutely love what you're doing, honestly. And I wanted you to please talk to us about it. It's a group that Ange started. It's the community of dream makers. I would like for you to talk to us a little bit about it. I want to ask you what inspired you to do that, but I do know the answer. You're going to tell me. It's because you've always had a heart for the community. And you want to see the community move forward to where the community is taking space and making strides. I mean, there are a lot of people who have won in their own particular field, but nobody knows about them. Oftentimes I hear about me, like, people don't even know that I exist. They don't know that there's a Congolese dentist in the community. And so we have made strides in our own field, but nobody knows about us. And so that's what I want you to talk about. Like, what did you find the need to be, and where are you trying to bring the community of dream makers? What is the impact that you wanted to do in real life?
Well, very good question. Obviously, it is the big question. It is the main question.
I'm full of questions.
Absolutely. I mean, we in the Congolese community in the US in general, we've been coming into this country a good part of the last 30 years. It seems like a long time, but in reality, it's not that long of a time. Sometimes we measure ourselves to other communities, such as the Nigerians, and say, hey, look at what the Nigerians are doing. Look at the Ghanaians and the Kenyans. We forget that sometimes we are not them. We are Congolese. We have our own personalities, we have our own cultures, we have our own way of saying things and our own philosophy, if you want to call it that way. And also we need to be honest to ourselves and be true to ourselves. I mean, first of all, they came to this country speaking the language. We didn't.
Thank you.
They started coming to this country, maybe since the 70s, and we only started coming since the 90s, the end of the 90s. And most of us actually started coming after 2000, to be honest.
Yes.
So we cannot really compare ourselves in that sense. And we see them being, I wouldn't even say that organized, a little slightly better organized in many ways. They have in the case of Nigerians, have one of the most educated communities here in the U.S. as far as foreigners are concerned.
Absolutely.
And believe it or not, if you look at the stats for Congolese people, we're not that far behind them. Although we just started coming in this country. So we still have room for improvement, a lot of room, as a matter of fact. And that's when we come in. Our challenge, I'm not going to call it a problem. Our challenge is that we just need a stronger structure, something that's going to help us channel all that energy, all this creativity and all this achievement in a way that it can feel more impactful for our community. That's basically how I look at it. Now, to be terre à terre, if I want to call it that way,
in layman's terms,
this is a fact, right?
Yes.
We have businesses, we have stores, we have clinics, we have dentists, we have all these other things, real estate agents, and many of them individually felt the pain of building a structure, building a company, an organization, building an enterprise. It's extremely hard, and it gets sometimes really lonely because you are facing all these challenges on your own, right? You need to be your own marketing team. You need to be your own administrator. You need to be your own cleaner. So you're doing so much on your own. You're your own, banker, your own. Everything has to come from you, and it takes a lot out of a person. And having built a business in this country, I know how it feels. And you cannot just do all of that yourself and be successful. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the chances of achieving that are slim, right? And it will take you a lot longer to do it on your own than if you had support.
Yes.
Right? So having so many people like that, for me, it was just a matter of a small click, right? A small mindset of saying, you know what, if I can help Dr. Valerie and if I can help Dr. Giselle in a way we can we basically can live an attitude of appreciation that's going to trigger each person to help each other, right? And if we start helping each other that way in the form of a community, that's one of the reasons why we call it community of dreamers, right? Dream makers, community dream makers. If we start forming a community of leaders, a community of people with initiatives, we should be able to acknowledge the difficulties that we each face and be able to support each other better because we know what it takes to build a business. And we understand the difficulties in it. So that's the essence. Basically, we want to mutualize our efforts so that we can all together work better. So in essence, this is, to put it on the science side, it's really you would call it social marketing. I'm not talking about social media marketing. Social media is something else, but this is an experience of social marketing. It's really multiple organizations coming together to impact communities. And I'm also using community in a large sense because this is not just about dollars. We didn't build our business just for the Congolese community. We built our businesses. We are businesses, Congolese businesses, but we built our business to prosper, to grow. And our market is larger than the Congolese community. Right? So we also have to put that into account. So when we come together in the community and we support each other in our activities like that, we have a better chance of growing faster so that we can achieve our dreams. Right? Yes. So first of all, we have the dream. Second thing is we acknowledge that building businesses is not easy. And we acknowledge that, as a matter of fact, as the Bible said in the Psalms, right? If one can, this is really in the sense of the army, when one can chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. Just to say that, when we combine our strengths, when we mutualize our efforts, we achieve a higher level of success, exponential level of success than when we do it ourselves. So it's important to group ourselves and work together. So that was the first inspiration as far as Congolese, the community dream maker for that matter. And now imagine right now, officially, we have close to 30 engaged members that are completely engaged and registered. And we have over 200 members on our WhatsApp. And then we have over 1,400 members already on our Facebook. Imagine all these people rallying for Dr. Valerie and publicizing Dr. Valerie's posters and repeating Dr. Valerie's message. This impacts the kind of impact this is going to have for you, right? So that's really what we want to do. We want to see Dr. Valerie. We want to recognize Dr. Valerie. We want to promote Dr. Valerie. And when you succeed, we succeed. And as soon as you do you and you become the best of you, then we go to Dr. Giselle. And then we go to, Mama Janine Banza, and then so forth. This is, for me, the best way and the fastest way to promote and grow our businesses. And doing it in a way that's that recognizes and help and inspire all of our community. So that's in a nutshell, that's how I would define what Congolese or what Community Dream Makers is about. But again, I always say this is not about the Congolese community here in DFW, although it include and we begin here in Dallas, but our goal is to be an international organization. We want to build a strong structure with a very clear path to promoting our businesses and achieving success together. That's, in a nutshell, that's how I look at it.
Wonderful. That's great. So impacting people's businesses. But how about individual? Because everybody is not going to be a business owner. How about professionals or any person that does not have a business? How can the community of dream makers help them self-achieve their dream?
It's a good question, although we don't say it enough because we tend to focus on the businesses. But what we agree with those businesses that are joining Community Dream Maker is this. If you want to impact people, right? Because most of these businesses have services and those services are serving people. And what we tell them at Community Dream Makers is that you need to share your knowledge with people. And how are you going to do that? For example, we have financial professionals, financial professionals in our organizations. Those financial professionals may be expert at investment, expert at insurances and so forth. In most cases, if I tell a Congolese person, a random, lambda person about insurances, they may not have any clue what that's about. If I start telling them about investing and buying stocks, they may not really have an idea and not even have any kind of interest in what I'm talking about. But if I bring a knowledge of, credit knowledge to that person, or if I bring the importance of budgeting or the importance of saving and how you can save, techniques of saving or saving on insurances and so forth, that person may be interested. And if the like of Patrick or Dr. Mputu started teaching these seminars to the community, we're giving out information. We want people, whether it's professionals or random individual, to know about these things that helps them build a finance or structure their own finances and their own small businesses. Guess who they're going to recognize as an expert in that domain? It's going to be you. So if they want to talk about health, they're going to go to the dentist. If they want to talk about investment, if they want to talk about housing, then they're going to go to the real estate agent because they've seen them in action, because they heard them teach. They heard them explain the mystery behind credit score, right? So that's basically what we do. We create that win-win situation centered around education. So we're doing with one stone, we're killing multiple birds because that same stone is helping the community gain knowledge, which is going to help them grow. And it's preparing them to also be the clients for our professionals, for our businesses. So that when they buy, they're coming with the intention of, first of all, recognizing that these people are experts in the domain in which they talk about. And number two, recognize that that person is giving to the community. So essentially, this is a win-win situation for the community and for the business owner. And of course, for Community Dream Makers, because when everyone succeeds, we win. That's how we approach it. It's really centered around knowledge. We are educating ourselves. That's why we function around a structure called think tank. Because Community Dream Maker really functions around around one single program. We don't have multiple programs. We have one program, and this single program is pointing out solutions. And this program is called the think tank, Community Dream Maker think tank. And the think tank is essentially experts at different domains coming together to think and addressing, I wouldn't call that problems.
Issues?
They are identifying, no, not even issues. They're identifying opportunities. So for example, you are a member of the Dream Maker. The Dream Makers, you have your dentistry, you have your practice, and you join the group and say, hey, how are you guys as a think tank can help me achieve my goal of maybe doubling my business.
Okay.
So the think tank will look at it and say, hey, this is what we see that you were doing because we're looking at your practice. We see you do this, we see you do that. However, we see opportunities here. And then together they'll think and they'll make some propositions and they'll put together a paper and suggest to you, these are the steps that we would take and this is how we would do it. And together with the rest of the Dream Makers, we can help you achieve that through a program. So that's basically how we want to think about it. So like, for example, when we had the credit month, it's because the think tank spun out a financial education program, which is led by Patrick. So when we have other programs like that, like the medical aspects of what we do also a lot of medical teaching. We've done that with Dr. Giselle. It's because we thought this would be the best approach to make people aware of her practice. She now participate in medical teaching program or health teaching initiatives that we're taking with the Dream Makers. That way people learn for themselves, but also they learn about what Dr. Giselle is capable of doing and how she can help them personally.
Right.
So it's really, we're creating a natural way of people approaching these businesses rather than just telling them, come and buy.
Right.
So that's sort of like the intelligence behind that. Yes.
Right. And I like how you said it's a win-win situation because, of course, it's the professional educating the people that they want to service or to serve. And then also the people who have now learned being more empowered to know how they can better benefit from these services. Yes.
Exactly. That's what's so interesting about it. And most of the people that are joining the Dream Makers, obviously, I like to be honest. I mean, like I said, I'm a passionate of psychology. I understand the psyche of a man, of a person is obviously self-centered in general. I mean, it's our first nature to protect ourselves, to care about ourselves and to look for what's in it for us. It's second nature. It is normal. There's nothing unnatural about it. However, as open as we are to it, we also try to inspire them and showing them that in order to get what you want, sometimes you need to give to others much as they want, right? So if you want to get what you want, you need to give to others what they want. Usually that's how you get what you need. So that's really been a part of our philosophy. And you see that many of our members, when we speak with them, we find a desire in them to want to help the community. So that's really what's driving us. So they are sincerely not just looking for what's in it for them, although that comes naturally. They're looking for, how can I impact my community? How can I share my knowledge with the community? How can I inspire young people to achieve their goals? Because we do have a program that we're developing for young folks, in our basic membership. Essentially what it is, that it's really a mentorship program where we're trying to connect our young folks to professionals or to even seniors in our communities to be help them, guide them so that they can be able to achieve faster based on their own capabilities and dreams. Because it's really at the heart of it, it's really about each person's dream and understanding and acknowledging that for you to achieve that, you need to consider what other also want.
Right. I really love this. I really love this. The community of dream makers. I love it. And I love that you were able to paint the picture of what it truly is about. And to me, even as you put it, it truly is a win-win situation. It's the business is winning is the members of the community winning as far as being enlightened, as far as services that they don't know anything about or that they are oblivious about. Speaking as a dentist, for example, there's so many people who come to the office and that I meet, and they're like, oh yes, I have a cousin, her teeth are hurting me. I have no teeth problem. Like, so long as you have teeth, you need to see a dentist because you need to have your teeth cleaned. Prevention is always better than treatment any day of the week. So basically they don't know. And then when you bring them, somebody, lo and behold, may not have cavities, but they have some problems, some other issue, periodontal disease. They can And so many also issues that we can detect even when the person comes to the dentist. We can, sometimes steer people towards seeing their doctor because their high blood pressure is high. And, many times when people have high blood pressure, they know nothing about it. Or sometimes you can, smell in their mouth and you can tell you need to go be checked for diabetes and different things like that people don't even think about. They just think that it's only teeth, and there's so many things beyond teeth, so many things beyond the face. And so being able to teach that. And even as you're saying, the mentoring programs, because many people come here and they're lost. They may come into an environment where they're telling them, okay, the only thing you can do is work in the warehouse. And I'm not, scorning at the warehouse, but, you can do a lot more, especially in a country as the US, truly, the sky is not even your limit. God is your limit. So, you have so much potential, but how do you begin to learn, especially when you come with the first barrier, which is language? You need to be among people that can also pull you up. Understanding that your success does not mean my failure. We can all succeed together, even in the same field. So if there's another dentist over there able to help so many other people, it's a win for the entire community. It's not a loss of me to say, now you're taking my clients. No, we are called to serve the world, and there's like a gazillion people in the world. Nobody is your competition in a sense, but we enhance each other to move the needle, and to make stride and to improve people's lives. That's what we are called to do. So yeah, I love what the vision is, and I do want to support it. I really hope that many people watch this episode and are inspired to become members of the community of dream makers, because we have dreams and we should not just end at dreaming. We should actually actualize and materialize these dreams so that they become a reality. So now let me ask you this last question. What if somebody wanted to be part of the community of dream makers? What should they do? Who should they contact?
All right. Presently, we have our presence on the internet through our websites, which is www.dmact.org. That's D as in David, M as in mother, ACT.org. Community, dmact.org, which is dreammakersact.org.
Okay.
And you can also reach us on Facebook if you search for Community Dream Makers. We will be there. It's CDMA Community Dream Makers. We will also, as a matter of fact, you can also find us directly on YouTube. If you search Community Dream Makers, likely you'll see our channels. We do have a program in creation. We've been basically recording most of our events and activities, and you can actually see what we've done so far in the last 3 or 4 months that we've been working. You can also call me directly at 214-728. So far, that's our main number. You will find us on WhatsApp. You'll find us on Facebook, and you'll find us on the web on DM.org. I believe I pretty much covered everything. And honestly, we are very open. And as a matter of fact, if you hear anyone or anybody say that they're a member of the Dream Makers, you can just reach out to them directly, and then they'll basically guide you on how to become members of the Dream Makers. Our goal is to see as many members as possible join this next year of 2026. We hope that at least 200 to 300 potential members that we've identified will be a part of this organization and this group, so that together we can transform Congolese communities across America.
Wonderful.
And be able to be the type of community that we dream of.
Wonderful. And so I went to look it up here on Facebook, and it's actually called CDMA, and it looks something like this. Yes. So if you're interested in joining, go ahead and do so. I'm following, so I'm proud of myself.
Well, thank you, Dr. Valerie. We really appreciate you. From the beginning, you've always been present, and we appreciate you being a part of what we're doing.
Wonderful. So that would be bring us to the end of our episode. Ange, I really want to thank you for everything that you said, for your heart, for a community that's thriving. Thank you so much for doing what you do. I know that it's at a lot of sacrifices. And when we are leaders, sometimes our lives get impacted in some ways, but I really hope that you get as much help as necessary so that it's not just you driving the boat, but that there are many leaders of leaders that can also participate in the entire vision. And so thank you again for showing up, saying yes to our invitation today.
Thank you, Dr. Valerie, for giving us the opportunity to be here today.
Wonderful. And so to the rest of the audience, I believe that this has impacted you positively. Please, please, please don't hesitate to share these episodes, to comment, to like, so that somebody else can be inspired. I want to know what you got out of this episode. I want to know how this blessed you. I want to know if this is something we should keep doing. I want to know if we should invite somebody else like, Mr. Ange here, who came to share this audience that you are today. And by the way, would it be okay for us to invite you again another time after we have gone through maybe like a year or so and seen how many of the projects have come to fruition? And would it be okay for us to invite you again so that we can speak on this subject again?
For you and your viewer, Dr. Valerie, I'm available anytime.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I feel special.
Thank you.
So that being said, family, you guys be blessed as always, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
God bless you all.
Thank you for listening to the Science of Gratitude podcast. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, share it, and leave us a review. Your support helps us keep spreading the power of gratitude. And until next time, stay grateful. God bless you.